Hey there. Today, I would like to talk to you about AI agents and their implementation with this phenomenal open source framework called Shrans that makes it very, very easy for anyone to build agents, regardless of what their background is. Now, earlier this year, maybe a few months ago, I published a video on AI agents in Bedrock, which is another great way to build agents very quickly. Feel free to check out that video linked above. And let's now dive into this agnostic way to build agents, regardless of what model providers and what set of tools you're looking to use. So Shrans was announced just a few months ago. It was announced in May this year and open sourced by Amazon. The goal of Shrans was to simplify how the agents are being built. And this rose as a result of a need within Amazon to make it easier to make changes, to be very agile and build agents rapidly. So let's go and take a look into Shrans in a bit more depth here. I'm going to talk a little bit about what Shrans is, how it works, discuss where you can find a lot of examples and documentation. I'm even going to show you a demo of how quickly and easily you can work with these agents, and then also talk a little bit about some of the most recent features. So Shrans was released in mid-May this year, so this was very, very recently. Feels like a year ago, but everything's changing so rapidly within this space. It was only about 2 months ago. Shrans was designed by internal teams at Amazon, and even before the release, various AWS service teams like Q Developer, AWS Glue, and VPC Reachability Analyzer teams have been using this to make their lives easier and to make it easier to ingest generative AI capabilities into these AWS services. Now, the goal of Shrans framework is to simplify how agents are being built and follow what's called model-driven approach. Now, according to the model-driven approach, there are going to be really three components that you need. They're all high-level, simple components that you need. And if you scroll down to this blog post, which I'll link in the video here, those three components are your prompt that is going to provide some instruction to the agent. You use simple natural language, very easy to put together. The model, which is highly abstracted away. It can be on Amazon Bedrock, it can be on Amazon SageMaker, it can be in OpenAI, it can be in Anthropic and various other model providers. It even includes frameworks like Ollama that make it very, very easy for you to do local testing on your own laptop without even requiring the cloud. A great way to move rapidly with testing things before you actually look to productionize things and go to the cloud. And of course, the third component are the tools that could be one of the more than 10 different built-in tools that perform common tasks like go and search the web or write something to the file system, read something from the file system, and so on. But as I'll show you here in just a few moments, it's very, very easy for you to define and design your own tools. Make it very easy to turn any Python function into a tool that your agent can use. So make sure to check out this blog post. There's a lot of really good information, including some of the visuals around how this agentic loop is going to work. So again, you provide the prompt for your agent to follow, and with that prompt, your agent is going to be heavily relying on the model to help it reason through how to break down the process into simpler tasks, and also how to interact with the different tools, as well as observe the output and process the output of those tools. So you're going to be having this agentic loop go on until the final problem solution is produced. So make sure to check out this blog post. Now, there's also the project page, because this is an open source project. Anyone can contribute to it. In fact, various organizations like Anthropic, like Meta, and many others are consistently evolving, helping evolve this project, because it's very meaningful for them to have support for their models and tools. Once you get to the project page, you can just click get started, and you'll be able to see the instructions on how to set this up and install the necessary libraries. There's going to be a ton of code examples as well. Now, let's take a look at a quick example of how you can move quickly and build agent in less than 60 seconds. So if we switch to my IDE, We're going to go through the process to the examples that I've named stonk analysis, and it's going to show us how we can quickly, rapidly build agent. It can help us analyze stocks and also generate beautiful visualizations as well. So we proceed with first installing the Strands agents as well as the built-in tools. And once we're done with that, we're going to proceed with installing the set of libraries that the tools, these agentic tools, can use to arrive at a final solution. So let's go down below and see how we actually set up our agent. So once we import the necessary libraries, this is the first piece we discussed that you need to set up, which is your system prompt. So we're going to say, hey, you're a financial analyst, provide the following charts. Plot 20-day moving average of closing prices for the past 1 year. And also plot daily return rate comparison against S&P 500 for the same period. Also compute following two metrics of the stock, volatility of the return rates, and that's it. So we proceed with providing some instruction around, hey, use this Y Finance, which is Yahoo Finance package to retrieve some of the historical stock data. So you have your prompt. This is super easy. We just saw natural language. The next step for us to do is to instantiate, okay, tell the agent what model is going to be used. This can be an Anthropic model, OpenAI, doesn't matter. The setup is the same. In this case, for ease of use, we're going to use Bedrock and we're going to use Claude 3.5 Sonnet, the second version of that model. So you have your prompt, you have your model. The last step that we need to take is to instantiate our agent and provide what? Tool, provide the prompt, and specify what model should be used. So that is all you need to do. How quick and easy was this to produce? So we're going to build our agent, and once the agent is ready, took about 3 seconds. Now we can start interacting with it. Now we included a few examples here. If I instead wanted a model from OpenAI, the setup would be the same. I would, instead of Bedrock model, I would be instantiating OpenAI model and specifying which model we want. Similarly, if I want a model from Anthropic directly, I would import Anthropic model and I would specify, okay, which model do I want? So the setup is the same. It's very, very easy and it's seamless to be able to swap models behind the scenes. That is, in fact, one of the design principles of Strands, to make it easy as new models, new state-of-the-art models get released, make it very, very easy to just swap them behind the scenes without having to make any substantial code changes. So with that, we can now invoke our agent and we can say, hey, check out the maybe Amazon stock. It's going to proceed with trying to analyze, okay, what needs to happen, print through the rationale, okay, which tools need to be used. Here it's going to use Python REPL to execute the Python code that it comes up with that is going to give us ultimately these visualizations. So we get these beautiful charts here. This is the code that was generated, and then using the Python REPL package, we can actually execute this code autonomously, and we get this this chart, right, that shows us the Amazon price versus the 20-day moving average. And then we also have below here the daily return rates of Amazon versus S&P 500. And it's going to then proceed here to calculate some of the volatility metrics as well. Now, the last thing I want to show you here is just how easy it is to build your own tools. So imagine here if we want to have 3 different agents behave as tools that a top-level orchestrator agent can use. So we can see here, again, we're going to be importing this tool, which is going to be a convenient decorator to use. We're going to import the Bedrock model, and we're going to now start setting up 3 agents. So the first agent is going to be our investment research assistant. Its goal is going to be to provide insights into stock, ETFs, and the various market trends. So we're going to say, okay, this is the model that we want to use. We're going to use Nova Pro model, and then we're going to set up, configure, create a tool by simply using our own Python function and putting this decorator tool above it. So this function here, investment research assistant, now becomes a tool that the top level orchestrator can use. We're going to instantiate our agent, use that Nova Pro model that we set up above, We're going to give it some prompt to say you're a financial research analyst who helps user explore various investment opportunities, blah, 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 right? Specify some instructions for the agent. And that is it. That's all that's needed. So now this tool is going to be something that a top level agent can use for us. Beyond that, now we move to the next assistant that we want to set up. Budget Optimizer Assistant. Its goal is going to be to help users track and improve their monthly spending budget. So in a similar fashion, now we use a different model. We use Nova Lite instead of Nova Pro for this particular agent. And again, we use the decorator tool to set up our function that is going to be practically a tool that's underneath an agent that the top level orchestrator agent can use. And then the third agent and tool that we set up is the financial planner assistant, which goal is going to be to guide users through long-term financial planning. Now, again, we use an entirely different model. We use Nova Pro or Nova Micro here instead of Nova Lite or Nova Pro. So this comes to show just how easy it is to design things differently, make changes. We could have also used a model from Bedrock for the first agent/tool, model from OpenAI for the second one, and model from Anthropic directly for the third one. It's designed to be very, very simple, very flexible, and make it easy to change things behind the scenes. Okay, so now I'm going to run this cell. And we have these three agents created, and they're wrapped as tools, which means they can easily be called by another agent. So we're going to now set up our top level orchestrator agent that is going to have access to these tools. And depending on what task is being assigned to it, it can decide, okay, which tool am I going to call? And then these underlying agents, they're wrapped within that tool can actually perform that function. So we're going to import our, from Strands, import an agent. We're going to say, hey, this is the prompt for that agent. We're going to say, hey, you're an assistant that routes queries to specialized agents. For research question and factual information, use the research assistant tool. For product recommendation and shopping advice, use the product recommendation assistant tool. And then for travel planning and itineraries, use the trip planning assistant tool. For simple questions not requiring specialized knowledge, just answer them directly. Do not use the tools. Always select the most appropriate tool based on the user's query. So you can see how you're practically building your solution using natural language. You're just using English. Just be clear and concise around what instructions the agent needs to follow. And then we're going to create our new agent just like we did previously with the other ones. Now we're going to provide that main system prompt, and we're going to provide a list of tools. Now there are 3 tools in here. These 3 tools you've designed above as the functions that are wrapped using that tool decorator. And then we're going to call it right here below. We're going to call it and provide some input prompt that says, hey, I'm 30 years old, earning around $6,000 per month. I have some student loans and moderate savings. I want to understand how I can better manage my monthly budget, explore investment options, and build a solid long-term financial plan for buying a house and retiring early. Can you help? So quite a bit of an involved instruction here. We're going to run this cell, and at this point in time, this top level orchestrator agent is going to try and figure out, okay, which tools I need to call. See, it's mapping things out. I have several tools, so let's scroll up. Have several tools available, and says certainly. Let's given your age, let's create a long down your budget and see how we can optimize to help you manage your expenses. And then it goes on through different steps. It calls different tools. And ultimately, it's going to be using these underlying tools here to solve the final problem. And you can see as it's navigating through different steps, it's trying to figure out, okay, which tool needs to be used. And it's telling us that as it moves along. So there you have it. Very, very quick and easy to build your agents and anyone without any ML background, without any AI background can create these, write out these few simple lines of code to set this up. Now, if you'd like to see some of the similar examples, there's a really good post in the Builder Center, which I'll make sure to include the link for, that has various examples as well, code examples, so how you can implement these different scenarios, and some are going to be very, very similar to what I showed you in this video. So I'll make sure I link that and make sure you check it out. Now, last thing I want to talk to you about before we wrap up here is some of the recent announcements that were just announced at the AWS New York Summit around the new major version being released for AWS Strands, which is mostly focused on the multi-agent integration and the orchestration. So this was just published a few days ago on July 15th. And if you take a look at some of the new features, there's agents as tools improvement of how this functionality works. So this allows you to transform specialized agents into intelligent tools that other agents can call, kind of similar to what I just showed you in a quick example. So the way that this works has been more further optimized. Beyond this functionality, also these handoffs for explicit transfer of control was also introduced. So this allows you to pass responsibility to humans when they encounter tasks outside of their expertise. So if an agent is provided with a task that it just doesn't know how to solve, instead of hallucinating out of its mind, it can just return control back to humans. And the way that that routing is set up is now very, very easy. Now, beyond this, another interesting feature is agent swarms, and you can think about this as the autonomous agent teams that dynamically coordinate through shared memory, allowing multiple specialist agents to collaborate on a complex task. So this is kind of like having a brainstorming session between a few different human experts, but these experts are now agents that in a swarm fashion can be collaborating to arrive at the final solution. And then, of course, for something that is far, far more deterministic, when you know what steps need to take place and you want to be in control of how that is done, there's now support for graphs. So you can define explicit agent workflows with conditional routing and decision points. So if you have some sort of a process that you know is going to require a specific steps, some approvals, maybe some quality gates, you can define that workflow on your own instead of expecting the swarm of specialized agents to kind of try and figure out exactly what it is that you want. So whenever you know exactly what the process should be to solve given problems, you want to use these AI workflows, agentic workflows or graphs that give you ability to do that. There's going to be a few other announcements here in this blog post. Make sure to check it out. For instance, the support for agent-to-agent protocol, that is an open standard, and it now enables agents from different platforms to communicate seamlessly. So let's say you build your set of agents and you want them to be easily integratable with some of the agents from other organizations or other institutions. With agent-to-agent protocol, which is now built, support is built into Strands, you now have very easy ability to integrate with other agents. They're in other platforms, as well as to make yours highly or easily integratable as well. There's a few other announcements in this blog post. Again, I'll link it below the video so you can check it out if you like. So I hope that you found this little overview and walkthrough helpful to just help you familiarize with Strands. I highly, highly recommend that you check it out, get started playing with it. You saw how easy it is. The whole premise behind this open source framework is to make it easy for anyone, regardless of their background, to build agents very, very rapidly, locally, test them without requiring any platform or cloud, and then have a clear path to productionize those agents as well. So I hope that you enjoy this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.